Truffle fries, tomahawk steaks, hot honey, and more recently, dirty sodas and Dubai chocolate. They all have something in common. While some might be trends, others have become mainstream, but all are being hyped in various ways. And today on Arch Eats, we're going to weigh in on a handful of them and give each hype a yay or a nay. This episode of Arch Eats is sponsored by St. Louis Art Museum. Hello again, I'm George Mahy, along with my I'm Not Trending, I've Got Staying Power co-host. And her name is?
This is Cheryl Bear, and these are getting more and more impressive every week. I'm going to get a big head.
I'd say I'm reaching, but I'm really not. It's the truth. We will end this segment, though, with a micro rant about seasonality and food sourcing and what we feel is the best way to approach that. But first, it's what I can't stop thinking about this week.
Well, George, you may have noticed I'm a little bit hoarse today. I think it's probably because I've been screaming from the rooftops about how much I love the new Mainlander. I cannot stop thinking about it. I can't stop talking about it. I can't stop dreaming about this wonderful place. As some listeners may know, as you certainly know, Mainlander moved from its original location south on Euclid to Euclid still, but further north, closer to Left Bank Books, closer to the intersection of McPherson. And
the old Duff's location.
I was just going to say, as anyone who has mourned the loss of the beloved Duff's, it is the old Duff's location. And I was always in love with Mainlander. I did not think this restaurant could get any better. I'm here to tell you, it has gotten even better. I'm in love with it even more. They have embraced the Duff space. You feel the essence of Duff's in the air when you walk in. They even have a portrait on the wall of the Duff staff from, I don't even know when.
Decades ago.
Decades ago. So it's a nice nod to the place's history. But just the feel for the whole place. It's divided into two spaces. You walk in, you're in the main bar area, which they're calling the Jujube. Darling, flaming tiki drinks, moody, dark, 70s inspired decor. The other side of the restaurant is where their menu is. And that decor and that feel just flows right over there. It may be slightly larger than the old space, but it still feels very small and intimate. The food is better than ever. Anyone who loved Mainlander already, anyone who hasn't gotten a chance to go to Mainlander, you can just pop in the bar, go to this place. It's the most exciting restaurant in St. Louis right now.
It was on our best restaurant list before they moved. So it sounds like they're definitely on it and maybe moving up. Reservations are still tough. But do they accept reservations at Jujube? You can just walk in
You
there,
can walk
correct?
into Jujube. That's what's so nice is you can now have this Mainlander experience without booking 3 months in advance.
And speaking of bars, there was a place that opened up at Sasha's on Demond just last week. And it's really fun. It's an upstairs hideaway. They call the cellar bar, which I find amusing because the cellar is upstairs, right?
I love it.
It refers to the wine cellar. And this is a incredible wine list that's going on up there. The cellar bar is open from 5 to 11 Wednesday through Saturday, and you access it through a secret door that takes you upstairs.
Oh, that's
It's
kind of
this
fun.
cozy spot with a fireplace, and you have wines from what they call the proprietor's cellar, end of bin selections, onesie selections, stray bottles that are left over that are preserved by the Coravin system. So you will find really rare and old wines that you couldn't afford to buy a bottle of these, but you could probably afford a glass. And that's the whole point. I love having options like that when I want to splurge. Okay, I've got $20 to spend on a glass of wine. I'm going to go for some vintage Bordeaux or some Plump Jack or something like that. Anyway, this just opened up, and Denise Mueller-Peterson is their sommelier and beverage director, and she just really created something fun and unique. And she said, I just did this with wines that excited me. So I know that other people are going to be excited as well. So again, Cellar Bar, Google it, look it up. The inaugural menu has a 36-page proprietor's cellar list.
Wow.
It's really fun just to read. We'll be right back.
Don't miss Ansan Kiefer Becoming the Sea, a monumental exhibition at the St. Louis Art Museum. As the artist's first American retrospective in more than 20 years, the exhibit features iconic pieces from Kiefer's storied career alongside new, massive site-specific installations. The exhibition is free and on display through January 25th. Learn more at slam.org.
So to transition into today's topic, we're going to move from vintage wines to a very different drink, dirty sodas, a subject on which Cheryl has perhaps unwillingly become something of an expert.
How funny is it? I somehow inherited the dirty soda beat here at St. Louis Magazine, which
You're it.
I'm not mad
That's
about.
because you've
It's
got
kind of
staying
fun.
power.
Exactly. It's probably because I have a 12-year-old daughter who watches YouTube shorts all the time. But these dirty sodas, for people who don't know about them, they really gained popularity on the TV show The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Apparently, this is a big thing in the Mormon community in Utah. They abstain from alcohol as part of their religion, so they were looking for creative ways to do something that is cocktail adjacent without having any liquor in it. So the idea is you take regular sodas, a Diet Coke, a regular Coke, a Pepsi, a ginger ale, any sort of fizzy beverage, and then you just throw whatever kind of syrup you could ever imagine. I think the original one is coconut
And lime.
and lime.
Yes.
So a big thing in dirty soda land is a Diet Coke with a little bit of coconut cream and some fresh lime juice. That is apparently your entry one, but then the sky is the limit. I mean, pumpkin spice sodas, butterscotch soda, hot honey sodas, anything you can think to put in a soda, you put in a dirty soda.
And I think these things have definitely come on. You're seeing them a lot. I think we've got our first dirty soda brick and mortar, a place called Swig, a big, big franchise
Yes.
out in St. Peter's, I
Seven
think.
Brews or another one. If you've seen the lines wrapped around Seven Brew 10 times and thought, what is that place? It's a dirty soda place in addition to coffee.
And I thought it was interesting that you've got these coconut flavored syrups coming out. So what does Coffee Mate do? Did you know this? They made a dirty soda creamer
No.
in a coconut lime flavor, which was very successful. So they came out with another one called Orange Cream Pop, which is mixed with an orange soda like Orange Crush. So everybody's jumping on this dirty soda bandwagon. But if you remember, this started way, way back, like in the 70s. Laverne and Shirley, they were making Pepsi with milk. And I mean, this kind of stuff started back then.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh,
it's-
that sounds
And
horrendous.
I mean, no, it sounds gross. 15 years ago, you remember these Coca-Cola freestyle machines where you could
Oh,
make
yeah.
your own kind of mix things together. So this isn't exactly a new thing, but boy, it sure has come on recently.
So we're coming down, yay or nay, on these trends. Worth the hype? We are going to differ on this, I think. We're leading out of the gate. You
I
like 'em.
say let the kids have their fun. Let the TikTokers and the YouTube short folks, let this trend play out. I think the owners of these shops are having a lot of fun coming up with these crazy concoctions. I think this trend, I don't know if it's going to last, but I think it's fun. I think that it's pretty smart. Millions of Americans drink a soda every day, and they figured out a way to capitalize on it.
So I'm going to be the grump here, and I'm going to say, let the kids have it. Don't make me drink them. They are sweet. The flavors are muddy to me. I am not the biggest fan, but hey, if you want to let your creative juices fly, go for it. But personally, for me, I'm going to stay away.
I'm okay with dirty sodas, but I fear what might evolve or maybe devolve from this is if we get into THC infused dirty sodas, at which point I say, stop, that's enough.
Now, see, that leads us to our next trend. We are also going to differ on this one, George.
We're all
I
about the segue
love-
today.
I love THC infused drinks and dishes. I think they're so fun. As people
For
are-
adults.
for adults,
I'm talking about kids drinking
Okay,
dirty sodas
okay.
with THC.
I will give you that. But I really find that for people who are abstaining from alcohol, this is a nice way to still feel like you can sip on a drink and still have kind of a fun little experience with it. I love them. I love that they're doing these infusions that are tasteless and odorless. There's a brand called Stirrables from here in St. Louis.
Right. Created here in St. Louis by a company named High Five. And this Durables has won a lot of competitions already as the best new product. And it's been a game changer in that it is tasteless, odorless. It's a powder. You can put it in anything. And chefs are now interested in it
Yes.
because they can make drinks and they can make items and they don't taste like THC and they don't have that telltale odor or taste.
The sky is the limit with these. There's a new company that has introduced a barbecue rub that's infused with THC. You sprinkle that on your ribs, you sprinkle it on your chicken wings. I think what's nice about this is it allows you to cook with cannabis or drink with cannabis, but you're able to control your dosing. That has been huge. And I think this is a trend I want to see stick around.
And I think it will. And I think this is barely the tip of the iceberg. I think we're going to see a lot of different products. And again, this stirrable stuff comes in little 5 milligram packets. So you can just add whatever you feel
Yep.
you want. I just think this is a revolution and we're just seeing the beginning of it. So you've talked about 2 drinks and I'm looking at my list. I don't have any drinks on the list. So I'm going to go straight to birria tacos because I love them.
Oh, George, these are
crave
so
them.
worth the hype. Is there even a question about this? They're the
Well,
most beautiful
but a
things
lot
ever.
of people don't know what they are. This whole thing started back 15 years ago in Tijuana when a guy put tortilla shells and cheese and goat stew together to create a quesadilla taco. And this kind of evolved in the U.S. Now they're making them with beef and they're serving them with a side of consomme for dipping. So you dip the quesadilla taco into the consomme and it's become a real cult thing. And how they make it, the cook will take a corn tortilla and put it in some infused oil, cook them on the flat top, put some cheese on there, put the birria meat in there, fold it over, and it's got this beautiful kind of ruddy look to it. It's really appetizing looking. People will dip this taco into the consomme, and some people, no names please, have been known to drink the consomme a sip at a time, and all of a sudden it's gone. It's that
I'm
good.
not ashamed to admit it. That is a glorious nectar. This is like the Mexican version of a French dip. Can it get any better than that? This is so wonderful.
It's really good. There are a couple places in town that have really good ones. El Milagro Azteca, I love theirs. Rockstar Tacos. And right up the street from us, Sabroso Cochina Mexicana. That's one of their house specialties, along with Cochinita Pibil, which I know is one of your favorites.
It's one of my favorite.
And that could be on this list too, but those 2 are really good items. But man, everybody should try a birria taco. And it's one of those things that I go in there and it's like I can't order anything else.
No.
And I'm a guy that doesn't do that normally.
Yes.
So next up on my list, staying in the food theme and going Fred Flintstone style, is the tomahawk steak. Everybody's seen these, right?
Yeah.
These obscenely large ribeye steaks with like a 7-inch bone, right? And it's this hatchet-like steak that sits on this huge platter. And the butchers call it Frenching. They remove the fat and meat from the bone to create this big monster.
Creates a handle for you to clobber your dining companion with, apparently.
It does. I mean, you see this on lamb chops and crown roasts of pork, but recently it's this giant 2 to 4 pounds, basically, these things are. They're 2 inches thick. There's a smaller version that's called a cowboy steak, and apparently they kept it this way. They had a handle so they could turn it on the grill. That's where that started. But yeah, I mean, it's a showstopper. It's definitely a statement item, and it's become synonymous with kind of luxury and opulent dining. You only see it at the biggest, finest steakhouses. But, they're really expensive, and I don't know. I mean, think about it. You're paying for a lot of bone, and that's the part that I don't like about it. It's crazy expensive to begin with. And for my money, I would rather have a bone-in ribeye and just leave that huge handle portion somewhere else. I don't want to pay for all that.
Not worth the hype in my book. I agree with you that paying for a bone is a waste of money, and it's also unwieldy on a small, cramped table. Say you have a party of 6, you're gathered around a round table, you've got this big old thing sticking out. I think it's just a spectacle, and it doesn't add any substance to your meal. I'm going to say not worth the hype.
Not worth the hype. What's up next?
Another thing that I hate to admit it because somehow I found myself also on the Dubai chocolate beat is whether or not Dubai chocolate is worth the hype. And I'm going to come down and say it's not my favorite. I'm going to say not worth the hype, especially because candy bars can cost $20, $40. I mean, it's just outrageous. what
Wait a
people
minute.
are charging for this.
A Dubai
Yes.
chocolate candy bar is how much?
They can cost up to
That's
$40.
what I
I've
thought
seen
you
at the
said.
peak of this over the summer when you couldn't find them anywhere. I saw them for 40, maybe $38 at the kiosks in the mall. It's outrageous. I think they're okay, but they have a very distinctive taste. You have to love pistachio, but almost kind of an artificially tasting pistachio. I don't know. They're okay. I think it's fine. I think it's fine to try it, but it's not worth the money for me. So I'm going to say not worth the hype.
You know, and it's funny that NPR said that this stuff, this Dubai chocolate, is here to stay. They compared it to Kit Kats. Yeah, I haven't had a $40 Kit Kat
Yeah,
ever.
exactly. We've got to
Well,
balance the value.
they
here.
did have me at Kit Kat, I admit that, but it has inspired, and this is maybe where we can make an entry point, Dubai chocolate cupcakes and pound cakes and waffles and milkshakes and
Mhm.
croissants. I'm okay with all that
Those are
as long as
fine.
they're reasonably priced. I think it's a fine trend. I think it got kind of out of control I think that's what started. You couldn't find them. You couldn't
No.
get them, so people were paying anything for
Yes,
it.
the scarcity of them made them ridiculously popular and ridiculously expensive.
And I hope that the Dubai dirty sodas are not
Oh
next.
God, please, man. Please no, George. It's too soon. You have something on yours that I'm eager to weigh in on.
Well, I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you one of my items that I just love is salted caramel. Is that the one
Yes.
you were thinking of?
I love salted
And
caramel.
I don't know. I have always loved it, and I looked into it a little bit and talked to a couple chocolatiers. I didn't realize that they get into the science of it, that adding salt intensifies the body's ability to taste sweetness in sugar.
Oh, that's why I love
That
the
makes
little
sense.
fine salt on a chocolate chip cookie.
And it kind of alerts our taste sensors and just gets us
Ah,
primed for what's
amazing.
next. It's a second sugar detector, if you will. And it started, I think, back in the 90s. And then in 2000s, I think New York restaurants were doing it. You saw Williams Sonoma started selling Fleur de Sel caramels. You saw it in major food magazines. So I think this is definitely here to stay. And I just love the way that the taste of the caramel pops and really intensifies the flavor.
Caramel to me is such a delicate flavor. It's not overwhelmingly sweet. It's more nutty. It's more buttery. So that's why I really love this little essence of salt. To me, it just brings everything together. It's also related to my absolute favorite pastry in St. Louis, which is the salted caramel croissant at pint size, which is only available on Saturdays. If you have never had it, you're going to love it.
And I think the big objection to this, and it's been my objection too, is when the salt is too predominant. You can't use rock salt. You can't
Yeah.
use the stuff you throw on your sidewalk. It has to be flake salt, and it has to be used judiciously. And if you happen to see or experience one, just flick some of that salt off. That's okay. Just do it that way, and then you're fine. But without proper notice, you can really have an oversalted caramel. So just be wary when you see anything salted caramel that there's not too much salt on it and it's not rock salt.
So, related to the sweet and savory, I have hot honey on here as a trend worth the hype. I love it. I'll tell you where I love hot honey the most is drizzled on a pepperoni pizza. O&O Pizza has that. They're one of the first places in town.
It's become
Oh my
essential.
God.
Hot
It's
honey has become
unbelievable.
essential on a pepperoni pizza for
amazing.
some reason. And I'm with you. I love it. I crave it. And I'm geeky enough to bring the hot honey with me when I go to a pizza restaurant that I think may not have it.
I love it.
I've
You
become one
travel
of
with
those
it.
guys.
I love this. This is great. It's like Beyonce travels with hot sauce. You travel with hot honey. This is great, George.
Yeah, 2 sticky thumbs up for hot honey there, folks.
Well, I have something else on my list that is kind of an original food trend. This one's been going on for a long time. It's something I do not like. Truffle fries. Not worth the hype. I don't like truffle fries. I think they've got this obnoxious, overly fakey taste to them. I think people think they're giving you this refined experience when they're just dumping liquid chemicals all over your fries. No, I am not here for truffle fries. Not worth the hype.
Well, I think, you're definitely onto something because truffle oil rarely has truffles in it.
Yes.
It is a manufactured
It's
product.
like popcorn butter. Popcorn butter does not have butter in it. It's the same thing with truffle
Yeah,
fries.
it's overpowering, and I think a little goes a long way, and chefs, I think they overuse it.
Yes.
And it's made from these synthetic compounds, so it doesn't taste natural, like you said. I think a little bit is fine with me. I actually like a little bit, a little whisper, like a vermouth in a martini. Just give me a little bit. I don't want it like some guy that wears too much cologne and it just like blows you
Yes.
out of the water.
Yes. Yes.
Just be judicious. Use 10% of what you're thinking and you'll be fine with it. And in that regard, I'm a fan of truffle fries. So we disagree on that one, my friend.
Would you put truffle oil on your lobster mac and cheese, George? That's next on your list.
I would consider it.
Okay. Okay.
Just a dot, though, just to see if I like it. But yeah, how about that? How about lobster mac and cheese? That's one of these things. I'm not sure where it started. You're taking two really great things and putting them together. Lobster and anything is good, right? Like crab meat or like bacon, just it never hurts. But where this dish falls short in most instances is that it's offered as an entree. And
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that can eat a full order of that.
No.
Plus, it's 20 or 30 bucks. So that's my objection to that. And there's rarely enough lobster in it. You can't play where's the lobster in the mac and cheese.
Yes.
So my suggestions are simple. Offer it in a smaller portion and at a lesser price. And this is the crazy part. Somebody said, where's the best one you've ever had? I had it at Busch Stadium in one of the suites. I
No.
had the best lobster mac and cheese I've ever had, and it was loaded with lobster. And that's where I did eat an entree-sized portion, and then I practically fell asleep through the game.
Yes, exactly. See, now I'm not as big of a fan of lobster mac and cheese as you are. I'm going to say not worth the hype because I like each one of them individually, but I feel like each one of them has such a subtle flavor profile that really all lobster does in a mac and cheese is just kind of muddies the waters to me. I feel like you're not getting the experience of the lobster. I've often found that the lobster in a lobster mac and cheese is quite chewy. So
It's almost more of a textural thing
yes.
sometimes.
So give me the lobster on its own. Give me my delicate mac and cheese that's velvety and silken on its own. I'll maybe even have them in the same meal together, just separately.
Or go to Busch Stadium and check that out.
Exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
let's see if we agree on this one. Tall hamburgers, overly tall hamburgers, Instagram 6-inch tall hamburgers. I love those Instagram pictures, I admit it, as much as the next guy. But when it gets down to eating that, it becomes completely unwieldy. And when you start to tinker with something that much, I mean, a hamburger is something that, the carrier is the bun, you've got the meat in the middle, and you have to eat it with your hands.
Yes.
And when you get beyond that, when this thing gets to be too big, it's like, don't make me make a smash burger out of my thick burger, And that's
Exactly.
the only way to negotiate it unless you use a knife and fork, which I think is an abomination with a hamburger.
Like most foods that are designed to be impressive on Instagram, they're not designed to eat. I am not a python. I am not going to unhinge my jaw and eat this burger. Not worth the hype. Keep it on Instagram. Don't do it in real life for me because what am I supposed to do with this?
I know it's just entirely too unwieldy. I'm glad we agree on that one. That's the last one, folks. Actually, there's about 10 of them. We're about half and half.
We definitely disagreed more than we normally do.
I know. It's amazing. We'll be right back.
This episode of Arch Eats is supported by Proper Cannabis. Never shopped with Proper before? Experience a higher standard at one of their St. Louis area locations. New customers receive 30% off their first 3 visits and can explore their selection of flower, concentrates, edibles, and more. Visit propercannabis.com to find a location near you. Well, George, normally this is when we would transition directly to the micro rant, but we're so excited to be trying something a little different for an upcoming podcast. We want to hear from you, our listeners. We're opening it up. Any questions you have for us, holiday edition. We're doing a whole episode coming up on holiday hacks, and we want to know what questions you might have, whether it's cooking the perfect turkey, whether it's how you prep stuff in advance. Basically, ask us anything holiday related. We are so excited to answer your questions. And you can do this by submitting a voice memo to podcast@stlmag.com. You'll just upload it, and we're so excited to hear from you.
And some of these will be included in the segment and some will not, but I think this is great. We're going to come up with a lot of stuff I think we've probably never heard of.
I'm excited to see if we get stumped. I'm assuming we probably will. So we're really looking forward to this.
So on to today's micro rant, and I think this is especially timely because we're going into the winter season. There's too much emphasis on locally sourced ingredients at the expense of quality. And I was talking to Will Rogers, who's the co-owner and general manager of Scouts, which has just opened in Midtown. And he calls their approach mindfully sourced food. I thought that was really
I love that.
smart.
What a great term.
Chefs, they've got decisions to make. Do they buy the best food, the cheapest food, only local, only organic? You can go every which way. But somewhere in the middle of this is mindfully sourced, and it means offering local peaches when they're in season, tomatoes only when they're in season. I like that. When it makes sense to use local farmers or organic products, they will. And when it compromises quality, they won't.
I think this is such a great thing to think about. We put a lot of emphasis on local, rightfully so. I think that should be kind of the default. If you can, you should. But if you
Right.
can't, don't force it.
Yeah, chefs in St. Louis, Missouri, let's face it, we have a growing season here. And when we don't, we need to consider an approach such as that. So, your friends at Arch Eats will end this episode with a little preachy plea, but a mindful one. That's all for today. Best dishes. Be sure to follow us and share with your friends. We put out new episodes every other week, where you'll always see links in the show notes for everything you heard about today. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow along on Instagram at St. Louis Mag and at George Mahey and Cheryl A. Bear.
If you loved what you heard, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. And for more of the freshest coverage on the local restaurant and culinary scene, subscribe to our dining newsletters.
Best dishes, and see you next time.
Arch Eats is a production of St. Louis Magazine. Audio editing by Brendan Shanahan and produced by Kylie Green Lemoyne.